Wellington is the capital city of New Zealand and the southern end of our journey. It's a beautiful city in a beautiful setting, and of course, we stayed at a backpackers hostel.
I think it's fun, actually. I like the adventures.
Oh yeah.
It's very interesting, I should say.
My favorite part of the trip has to be the Zorb. The Zorb was the best.
The Zorb was my favorite too. The hot pools, and they're free. That was probably my favorite thing on the trip.
I love their dancing and like how many people know their language and like how much of them are like strong with their culture.
Yeah, we lost the rugby last night. You guys didn't see it. It was a shame. Crusaders went down. It was a good game though. Great game. Yeah. And we're off to the museum today, to Te Papa. We've got a guided tour at 10 a.m. and we'll include it with a little bit of lunch as well, so that'll be nice.
The next morning, we visited the Museum of New Zealand, where we learned more about the Maori history and culture.
No mai hara mai ki Te Papa Tongarewa. Welcome to Te Papa Tongarewa. Te Papa Tongarewa simply means a treasure box to hold the country's treasures. If you came to visit us here in New Zealand 300 years ago and you wanted to go into a fortified or fenced village, you would need to go through one of these. This is a waharoa that translates as a long mouth, because not only is it a gateway, it's also a series of carvings that will tell us who the people are who came from this particular village.
Like some of the floor had lights in it, lights installed under the floor, and the floor was actually a map. The lady who took us on our tour, she was really nice, and she, she had her sense of humor and stuff.
I walk straight up here, and I'm walking along one of the main fault lines in the North Island. This is a crack in the plate tectonic. And running parallel to that crack is my hometown, Whanganui. It takes me 2 hours to drive home. Straight up to the river, straight up to Mount Ruapehu. When I introduce myself in Māori, I always say, Whanganui is the river, Ruapehu is the mountain. That way everybody knows what my tribal boundaries are. So, parallel to this fault line, we have some of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. Ruapehu, active. Tongariro, next to that, also active, and the source of both the Whanganui River and the Waikato River running through Hamilton. Two smaller volcanoes in here, Ngaruhoi and Pihanga. And then this baby, Taupo, a caldera volcano, a super volcano. The last time this baby blew, 1800 years ago, it changed the colours of the skies over Rome and China, turning them red. We have scientists that sit about here. It's their job to see if the water level's coming up, to see if the water's heating up. If it is, perhaps we'll have to evacuate.
I think I'd have to say I enjoyed their museum the most, though. It's really full of their culture. And really nice to see all that stuff. We didn't even get to see the whole floor. Like all the floors, we missed 2 because we got tired.
This house here is contemporary and it's called the link to your spiritual homeland, wherever in the world that you've come from. So essentially, it's a house that welcomes everybody.
Going to New Zealand and meeting the Maori people, I thought like the way their culture was put together and how they stuck together throughout everything was like really awesome. Like they helped each other out.
This is a marae, and a marae is a formal meeting place. This is one of 3 national marae that we have in New Zealand.
She's gonna try an oyster or a mussel. Her first one. That is just. You squeezed it all out to it. All I'm eating is bread.
Very chewy. I was expecting like salad.
I know, but they have more.
Yeah, I can't believe how much you guys eat.
They've been having a blast, loving the cities, loving the country. Waitomo is another one, and the hot pools down in Taupo, and it's just cool to have the multicultural aspect and really engage them. And I'm sure they've learned a lot on this trip, not just about the other culture, the Māori culture, but about themselves and their culture where they're from, and they're trying to put in perspective of how they relate. And I think it's going to be cool when they go home. They might do some foundation and learning a little bit more into their own culture and start to really progress that.
Our journey was coming to an end. Tomorrow we would head north.